So I thought it might be helpful, Father, if we could just go through some of the most common talking points and arguments that we hear in favor of abortion. If you could possibly refute some of those for us and just give us some kind of ammunition of sorts that we could use, since this is such a prevalent topic today. I know so many of our viewers, enter into discussions about this abortion issue, and so I thought this program could perhaps be a good reference tool for them to come back to. I thought we could start, Father, with one of the more common arguments that we hear in favor of abortion is that the fetus in the mother's womb is not actually a child. We're told that it's simply a clump of cells or just some kind of growth within the mother's body, and it's not actually a human at all. There's no human life there, and so subsequently there's no issue with aborting that growth or clump of cells or mass of tissue or whatever other euphemism, I guess it is called. But how should one respond to that, Father, that this fetus is not actually a human life, and therefore we can abort that?
Nowadays, we're told follow the science, right? Science. Right? That's the new religion there. If people really did follow the science and they were honest about that, they would face the undeniable fact this is a human being. There are tumors that develop in the body, okay? There are clumps of cells that may, come from various pathologies in the body, but this is the result of fertilization. That's a unique process, okay? Fertilization of the egg by the male element there. And they fuse instantaneously and they form a new human being with utterly unique DNA, unique to the entire race of mankind and identifiably human. There's just no way around that. They can deny it all they want. But if somebody says that a fetus is not a human life, then you'd almost have to ask them, well, what makes life a human life to you? Okay, because everybody has his own definition now. True scientific research has shown the humanity of the child before birth, even from the moment of conception. There's no doubt. Biologically, this is human. Okay, now they've had to reject that whole idea of you're biologically human. The fact is, though, they're lying to themselves when they say that. And there are pro-abortion people who come out and said it so. They've said, look, we're making ourselves look really foolish. We're making ourselves look stupid by denying the fact that this is human, that this is a human being, there's human life here, because everybody knows that. We're actually making ourselves look dishonest by that. Now, I give those pro-abortion people credit for at least saying, okay, let's drop the old lie because it's not really working anymore, and it really makes us look just downright stupid. Let's admit it's human. Okay, say it's a human life, but not all human life is created equal. That's where they want to go from there. The fact is, it is human life, and that's exactly why they need to abort it. I've mentioned that before. The reason why this particular group of cells growing within the woman's body, nourished by her, depending on her for life, has to be terminated, and there's an urgency to get it done, is because it is human. Because this is a human life, it carries with it responsibilities that they don't want. The mother doesn't want to be responsible for this child. The moment will come if the child is allowed to develop normally and naturally, that the law will recognize this as a child, as a human life, for whom she is responsible. Therefore, she has to destroy that life before she is legally responsible for it. That's the whole driving point of abortion right now. There's a human life developing there, and it has to be stopped before it gets to the point where it can't be stopped, where suddenly there is what is recognized by law, a human life, and there's a responsibility for it. So, the abortionists, the pro-lifers, it's very clear that everyone knows that this is a human life. Biologically, scientifically, this is human life. Now, if they're existentialists, and I suppose many of them are, like Jean-Paul Sartre, the atheist existentialist, who says it is the use of your will that makes you human. Because by the use of your will, you create your own humanity. Kind of a novel idea, at least it was at the time. In fact, it's insane. It would render anybody who doesn't have use of his own will non-human. So someone who cannot use his own will and determine his own fate is not human. We're human by degrees to the extent that we can use our will to create our own humanity. Well, this would make, of course, a child, until the child is emancipated and has the use of his own will to determine his own course, less than human, right? This would make a slave who's bound in slavery. The slave is less than human because he doesn't have that self-determination power of his will. Somebody, let's say, who is up in years and gets dementia, is less human because he doesn't have the power to use his will. So this is where we get the idea of more human and less human. But this is where the abortionists have gone now.